What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So more and more things are coming out of this story with this Titan submersible. So now it is apparently being said that a former OceanGate advisor said the Titan sub tried to reach the surface before it imploded, indicating that those on board knew something had gone wrong. So, apparently, um, like, apparently something happened. Clearly they had some type of indication that something was going wrong if they tried to reach the surface. So this is coming from Insider. I'll leave the link of the article down below. But anyway, I don't know how long this article is, but let's get into it. So says here, there's a few bullet points here. So it says a former OceanGate advisor said the Titan sub dropped its weights before it imploded on June 18th. So I'm assuming that these weights are for emergency purposes. If something goes wrong, these weights come off and the submersible starts, making its way back to the surface. So they apparently have found that they did drop their weights before it imploded. So they knew something was up. Now, it could have been when they started to realize that the communication wasn't there. They knew they were in trouble, so they had to get to the top. It says Rob McCullum told the New Yorker that it tried to ascend before losing contact with its mothership. That's interesting. McCullum is at least the second person to say OceanGate tried aborting the dive before disaster hit. A former OceanGate advisor said the Titan submersible dropped its ballast, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and tried to ascend moments before going missing, likely meaning that the 5 people inside were already aborting the dive when it imploded. Rob McCullum, an expedition consultant who previously gave OceanGate advice on marketing and logistics, told the New Yorker that he received early reports about the Titan's fateful final dive. It says here, quote, "The report that I got immediately after the event, long before they were overdue, was that the sub was approaching 3,500 meters, he told the New Yorker's Ben Taub. McCullum said the submersible had dropped weights, which meant the dive was aborted, and then lost communication with its mothership. That's really interesting. So it's almost like something was going wrong before they lost communication. I don't know. That sounds weird. McCullum is the co-founder of the adventure expedition company IOS Expedition, IYOS. He's previously led dives to the Titanic shipwreck and other deep-sea spots, but he used submarines designed to reach depths of 19,000 feet in a submersible that, unlike OceanGate's, was approved to reach extreme depth by the Marine Classification Society, DNV. He was in regular contact with OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush at one point and visited the OceanGate's workshop. Per the New Yorker, McCullum is at least the second person to publicly state that the Titan likely tried to ascend before it imploded. James Cameron, a deep-sea expert who directed the Titanic, also told ABC News on June 24th that he heard from inside the community that the Titan had dropped its weights and that those on board were trying to manage an emergency, and that is in quotes. Trying to manage an emergency. So something went wrong down there. Man, this seems so weird. It says the vessel lost contact with its mothership on June 18th, about 1.5 hours into its journey, carrying 5 people, some 13,000 feet underwater, to the shipwreck of the Titanic. At such depth, the Titan likely imploded with so much force that those inside were passed away instantly, with no time to realize the hull had collapsed. Authorities are still investigating the implosion, and it's currently unclear whether the 5 passengers were aware of the impending danger or had advice warning of a hull failure. So now all of a sudden, it seems as though what everyone thought in the beginning, including myself, was that an implosion is the opposite of an explosion. So An implosion crushes you, an explosion goes out. So, to everyone's assumption, this implosion happened and they had absolutely no time to even think about anything at all. It was boom, like that, right? But now it seems as though something happened before that that led them. There was some type of emergency on board. They were aware of something enough for them to want to get back to the surface and drop their weights. So this is really interesting. And it says here again, this last thing that I read was, it's currently unclear whether the 5 passengers were aware of the impending danger or had advance warning of hull failure. So did the people above know that something was going to go wrong? You know what I mean? Like, this is weird. Anyway, it says, but Cameron's and McCullum's accounts of the dive timeline suggest that at least one person on board had, for reasons still unknown, discovered beforehand that something went wrong and chose to abort the journey. So something happened before they even, it seems like something happened before they even lost communication. And once they lost communication, then there was that was it. But something happened before they lost communication. It seems like they knew something. Rush was piloting the submersible at the time, and he was likely in charge of the dive. OceanGate previously aborted the Titan's dives when the submersible lost one of its propulsion systems, and another time when several floats became detached from the vessel. The company has aborted more of the Titan's dives than it has completed, per the New York Times. Former passengers said the Titan regularly ran into issues with its battery and ballast system. Photos taken on Wednesday appear to show authorities unloading debris from the Titan submersible at the Canadian Coast Guard Pier in St. John's, Newfoundland. Says OceanGate did not immediately respond to a request for comment sent outside regular business hours. Y'all, I don't know. This is starting to get sketchy. I feel like I don't know. Maybe they know more than they're letting on, because now they're talking about how they dropped their weights and began to go up. So there's the question of whether they knew something was wrong and decided to call off this dive, or whether someone above communicated with them that something went wrong and aborted the dive, meaning that they were aware, someone communicated with them and told them, look, you've got to come back up here, something's wrong. I know because of the investigation, they can't really say much maybe at this point, or they don't want to, because they want to make sure that they're getting their facts straight. But that is interesting. So it didn't just implode. Something was going wrong. And the passengers knew, and they knew enough to release their weights in order to get back up. And I guess by that point, the pressure of the water was too much. It seems as though they dropped their weights after knowing something was wrong, after there was an emergency. After doing that, lost communication, and then within that loss of communication is when it imploded. That's what I'm getting from this. Don't know if you guys are, but I just feel like, I don't know, this is an ongoing investigation, so I'm pretty sure we'll start to learn more. But it seems like they knew something was wrong. This is wild. This is wild. Very unfortunate, but very wild. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of this article. What are your thoughts now that we have this new information? And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!